Hello, how you doing? How is everybody? I have a little thought experiment I decided to do. I know this is an outdoor channel, but however, I decided to have a little fun. Now, this is a little thought experiment. If I was running my own private school, how I would do things differently compared to education, to public education as we are now. Because I am not a fan of public schools. I think they're shit. And it's very sad to see our youth being educated, being like dumbed down by the public school system in a lot of ways. So I have several things that I would do if I was running my own private school that I would implement. Now, and tell me what you think, because I'm gonna wait until people come in. But thank you. I'm gonna say what would I do differently if I was, let's say, the principal, or basically the schoolmaster of a public school. Not a pub. No. If I was the principal of a private school, sorry. Let's rephrase it. If I was the principal or the administrator of a private school, of a private school, how would I do things differently when it comes to education? And I'll start. Number one, a lot of public schools just allow, larger students to assault smaller students in the hallways. I've noticed that growing up when I was in public schools, and it hasn't changed that much. It seems the teachers, they turn a blind eye to the physical assaults that the stronger students do to the weaker students. I'd change that. Number one, I'd have a security team through the hallways, cameras everywhere. And if a student assaulted, if a student assaulted another student without provocation, without any provocation, self-defense would only be the unless it was self-defense. But if you assaulted another student, a smaller, weaker student, and you just did it to be an asshole, here's what I'd do. Here's what I would implement in my private school. Okay, I'm for corporal punishment. Okay, that's a paddling. Not only would you get a paddling, not only would this bully that assaulted a smaller student without provocation would get a paddling. It would be the smaller student, the student that he assaulted, that would be doing the paddling. He would carry out the punishment. The smaller student would carry out the punishment as a means of humiliation and punishment. Because that's what you tried to do. That's good, Bullfrog. But like I'm saying, if I was running my public school, and that's the first thing I would do, is I would basically wouldn't turn a blind eye to bullying. I would basically make sure that if it's found that a larger student assaulted a smaller student without provocation, I would make an exception for self-defense situations. Someone had to defend themselves. Yeah, I get that. But if you did that, you're going to get paddled. Not only will you get paddled, you will get paddled by the student you assaulted. Problem solved right there. That solves the problem right there. It'll reduce bullying greatly. Number two, I would ban any kind of, psychotropic drugs, psychiatry from my school. No drugs will be used on children in my classroom. No type of medication they narcotics that they would like to call medication. So you wouldn't be a school psychiatrist wouldn't get a job in my school. And therapist, school psychologists, forget it. You're not getting a job in my school. Get your gobbledygook out of my school. You're not pushing your drugs on children in my school. No. No, 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 no. No psychotropics in my school. Those are banned. Well, I think it needs to change a little bit. It was the teachers. Like I'm saying, if I was implementing a private school, it was the teachers. But I think it would be far more humiliating that the student that they assaulted would be the one doing the paddling. Very soon, Hamburglar, very soon. So, like I'm saying, it would be far more interesting. Like if I'm implementing, let's say, a private school policy, the first thing that I would do is basically put that kind of punishment in place. Number one, there would be no blind eye turned to basically bigger students, beating up larger, stronger students, beating up the weaker ones. It would not work. In my school, you wouldn't be able to get away with that. In public schools, a lot of teachers turn a blind eye. A lot of administrators turn a blind eye. Not in my private school. Like I said, if you get caught like assaulting other students in my school, in my hypothetical private school, it's hypothetical, it's not real, it's a thought experiment. You get a paddling. Not only would you get a paddling, the very student you assaulted is going to be the one paddling it. That way, you will learn a really hard lesson. That is the most humiliating thing you get. Now, secondly, I would say the second thing that's going to be banned if I was running a private school is psychotropics. You would not be allowed to push psychotropics in my school. No. You're not going to drug children in my school. Hell no. So any child psychiatrist, psychologist, there's no job for you there. As a matter of fact, if I see you there, I'll call the police. No, man. Another policy, the curriculum. First thing, bringing back reading, writing, and arithmetic. You're going to bring that back. Bring that back wholesale. Other things, art, science, history, and not the politically correct and not this liberal version of history. No, we're going to bring back real history. Like from American history to world history. We're not going to do that bullshit, And we're going to make sure to prepare the kids for more advanced stuff early on. We're going to try to make this school the best school where you get an award, where you're actually learning something instead of, like in public schools, you're learning nothing but shit. And number one, that rainbow curriculum or those rainbow stuff that whole, how can I say, that rainbow stuff, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, that kind of stuff. That's banned. That's banned from my school. You're not going to bring that on children, okay? You're not going to teach anything like that to children, and you're not going to bring any kind of agenda into my school. No. If I'm running a private school, it ain't happening. Number two, Sorry. That was number 2. Number 1 was basically the punishment. Number 2 would be that would be like the banning the drugs and the curriculum. Number 3 would and then banning the rainbow shit. Number 4 would be basically what would number 4 be? The science. You bring the science, you bring the art, you bring classical literature into there. You bring the classics in there. This is my idea. It's a thought experiment here. And you can tell me what you think. I mean, and let's see what else. Oh yeah, number 4. There will be two. There will be 2 wings of the school. 2 wings of the school. One will be for boys. One will be for girls. Girls will be taught by women, and boys will be taught by men. I think it's better that way. So there would be gender segregated wings of the school, pretty much. That makes things better, leads to less distraction. Another thing I would add to the curriculum is martial arts. I would add martial arts from judo to karate, from every other form of martial art will be implemented into the school. That in sports and scholastics and things of that nature. So that would be another thing. Yes, nutrition would be a part of it. Only healthy, nutritious food would be allowed into the school. And let's say like exercise, and of course, you would bring the classical literature. You'd bring classical science. You wouldn't be teaching, we wouldn't be saying that math is racist. You wouldn't say, Orwellian shit like 2 + 2 = 5 or something like that, which is not. It's 4. Some bullshit. So these are the things I'd implement if I had a private school, hypothetically. You know what I mean? If I ran my own private school, that's what I would implement. So what do you think, people? It was a good thought experiment. I was thinking about this at work. Hi, Brian. How you doing? I disagree, Bullfrog. I think it should be a Christian school with Christian principles. So, anybody thoughts, any questions for this particular stream? This is like a warm-up stream for me, but I just thought it would be a good idea. But still, I came up with a good idea. Well, I don't agree with that, Bullfrog. I think we need to bring God back into the classroom. So, um, but at the same time, this is what I think should be implemented. Soon, Bullfrog. It's gonna be a summertime trip. What does that mean, Brian? What does that mean? Are you being cute, Brian? Oh yeah, Bullfrog. Okay, all right. Oh yeah. Sorry about that. Anyway, like I'm saying, the Brian, you weren't around when I said the things. I said I did a thought experiment. Said if was in charge of my own private school, you know what I mean, the policies that I would implement would be dramatically different from stuff that's implemented in public schools. In the classroom, public. First thing I said I would implement, and I'll repeat myself, is that I would have a zero tolerance policy towards bullying, but not in the way that you would think. Okay. I believe bullying is bad and it does lead to tragedies. So the first thing I do, as you know, let's say I'm the schoolmaster of this private school, is I would implement a policy where I have security guards and cameras in the hallways to ensure the safety of the smaller students. Not only that, if there was an attack without provocation that happened in on my school grounds, there would be corporal punishment. Not only would Sorry to hear that, Bullfrog. Oh boy. So I'm doing this thought experiment, and for those who haven't been here before, and I'll talk about it again. The first thing I would do if I ran my hypothetical private school is basically have a zero tolerance policy towards bullying. Larger students are, in public schools, the administration and the teachers turn a blind eye to basically, larger students assaulting smaller students. Now, the first thing I'd implement is a security team and cameras. Number one, but number two, I would implement a policy basically if a larger student attacked a smaller student without provocation. Here's what I would do. It would be a paddling. It would be corporal punishment. But I would make sure that the kid who was assaulted, the smaller student that was assaulted by the larger student, would be the one doing the paddling to make it that much more humiliating. You know? Thank you, Brian K. Thank you. The same true. What comic book? I haven't heard about any comic book. I don't read a lot of comics. I know I do look like I read a lot of comics, but I don't. uh, it could be a paddle. It could be a cane. I don't know. Bullfrog. Yeah, paddle. Like I say, pain is a good teacher. The only graphic novel I have is Alt Hero. So, but like I'm saying, that would be the punishment. The second thing, the policy I'd implement in my private school is that there would be no school psychologists or psychiatrists allowed to work in my private school because I don't want them pushing dangerous narcotics that they call medication like they do in public schools. As a matter of fact, if I see a school psychiatrist or psychologist on school grounds, I'm calling the police. Anyway, you know. Sure. The only graphic novel I've read lately is Alt Hero. I've read quite a few graphic novels. I've read the Alan Moore, like Swamp Thing. So that's what I would do. But the second thing I would do is concentrate on better education, like reading, writing, arithmetic, and none of this bull crap. There would be actually more like there would be history. There would be, Bible studies and stuff like that. There would be, history. There would be art. There would be science. All these things would come together, in my opinion. Um, well, they get caught smoking weed on school grounds, they could be in trouble. Let's put it that way. You know, bullfrog. The point is that another thing that I would implement is, like gender segregated wings of the school where there's one side of the school that's, for girls where women would teach girls, and the other side of the school where men would teach boys. And I'm talking about hard men like John Kreese of Cobra Kai. There would be martial arts classes in public schools. There would not in public schools. In my private school, there would be martial arts classes. In my private school, there would be good nutrition. There would be sports and scholastics, things of that nature. But there would be a lot less of this woke crap. Number one, that rainbow shit would be banned from my private school. Nah, nah, nah. They wouldn't be allowed, Bullfrog. There would be no place for them. None. Well, I'll have to check it out, Poon Handler. Check it out, Poon. I don't know. What's the name of it? They wouldn't be allowed in my private school. Brian K. They're not going to push that shit on children. Bottom line, that stuff would not be pushed on children. And that's my thought experiment, pretty much. I was thinking about it today. Really, Poon? Are you being that stupid? There would be janitorial staff. How many? How many would I need? like maybe 3. Yes, hamburger, there would be. History, art, um, uh, science, mathematics, um, even music. These are things that we would do at the same time. I wouldn't do them the same way a liberal school would do them. I would teach these things in a more different way. For example, the way that the public schools teach about history is from a more socialist perspective. I would teach history from a more nationalistic perspective. Um, True, Poon. Very true. No, that wouldn't be allowed. That's sick stuff. That would be banned from the curriculum, Hamburglar. That would be banned. Yeah, you could have that, Bullfrog. Health class, yes, but that sex ed stuff is not going to be allowed in my school. No way. Very true. Very true. A lot of liberal curriculums would be banned from my school. So, anyway, that's my thought experiment. What would I do if I had my own private school? And that's it. Mm. Yeah, there would be an emphasis on, I would bring back, I would bring back like shop classes. Like they would learn things like plumbing, electricity, something they don't teach in public schools, do they? They don't teach plumbing, electricity, how these things work. You would else I would bring into this in the curriculum economics. Economics. I would actually have an economics class. Where then not only would they learn math, they would learn economics. You know? That too, Brian K. First aid, CPR, yeah, from a young age. I think they can find out on their own, Poon. I think that should be up to their parents. Yeah, exactly. Anatomy, physiology, these things they would learn. I would also add, I would actually bring other curriculums that public schools don't have. Economics. I think that children should learn about economics at an early age. I think that's a very good idea. Economics. Of course, archery. Of course, these things. Shooting, archery, everything like that. But I'm saying this is like a hypothetical. It's Things of that nature. Yes, they need to learn technology. Yeah, technology classes. I think these things should be taught from an early age. Plumbing, electricity, economics. I think our public education system thinks these things are too advanced. I think that an education system should be implemented where they learn how money works. They learn how economics works. Yes, cooking as well. That's going to be for the girls though, more often. You know, that's going to be in the girls' wing of the school, Tiger Kitty. Possibly, Bullfrog. Well, I'm not planning on starting my own school. I was just, reminiscing on how bad the curriculum and how bad my experience going through the public school system was. And I thought to myself, how would I do it different? How would I do a different education system? How would I implement a policy that I think would work better than, let's say, the public school policies? maybe Tiger Kitty. Anyway, but like I'm saying, how would I do it different? I would do it like this. Like I said, that's the things and I said to myself, with everything that I've been through in public schools, with all the hell that I've been through in public schools, I was like, how would I do things differently? How would I be positive? How would and I started to do a thought experiment. What would I do differently compared to, let's say, what the public schools do? And I came up with these solutions. Number one, complete new curriculum. That's not a liberal curriculum. It would be a very, very right-leaning curriculum. I would also basically make sure that every student is actually safe from being assaulted, which is not something they turn a blind eye to in public school systems. You know, I've seen that the system does not. They love the larger students. You know, so I would say that it's important that that safety is important, and if larger students are assaulting, but smaller students, I would say pain is a good teacher. The only way to break that bad behavior is to basically corporal punishment. Maybe the paddle is what they need. You know what I mean? To break bad behavior, the paddle. And my idea was very simple. Instead of basically having the administrators, true, but here's what I'm going to do as a punishment for assaulting a smaller, weaker student without provocation. I would say that the punishment will be is that the smaller student that the larger student assaulted the smaller student would be the one to carry out the punishment. That's the biggest, to do the paddling. That way, that was my idea. Basically, the student that was assaulted is the one who basically carries out the punishment. Pretty much. Let's be honest, Poon Handler. You'd be getting a lot of paddlings in my public school, because I can picture you being a bully, and when you were going to school, but that wouldn't be tolerated in my school. You assault weaker students in my school. Let's say you are going to get fire on your rear end. Well, I'll put it that way. That's I'll do what the Catholic schools do. Rulers, the crack the ruler on the fingers. That's a good punishment for that. Brian. But that's just my thought experiment. That's what I would do if I was in control of education. But I'm not. you know? Yes, uniforms. Hamburglar. Uniforms. That could get you expelled, Bullfrog. Healthy foods. Nothing but healthy foods, Brian. Nothing but healthy foods. Very funny, Sig. Very funny. Well, and that's all I got to say. That's how I would do if I was doing education differently. No, Bullfrog. Nothing that extreme. We're not looking to break bones here. No, man. But there would be a security team patrolling the hallways to prevent any kind of assaults, student to student assaults. I think that really does work. Security teams. I've seen that implemented in community colleges where you just can't assault other I've seen that. So I think that would work. A security team patrolling the halls would prevent a lot of these assaults. You know what I mean? Well, I'll put it this way: there would be a lot of mandatory scholastic stuff. The food would be probably would be that we would serve for lunches would probably be of higher quality. We make sure that they were nothing but healthy, organic stuff. Um, so I would make sure there would be nothing but there would be a combination of scholastics, even martial arts classes for the boys, to prevent those kind of things. Yes, but guess what I did, Tiger Kitty? I actually sent one of my bullies to the hospital. I put him in the hospital. I knocked him out unconscious with a 2x4. I did some juvenile time, but it was worth it. He never looked at me the same again. No, bullfrog. I think they work, Hamburglar. I think they actually work better than our current system. Yeah, yeah, I could go for that one, Sig. But then again, I just eliminated bullying. One of the major reasons why a lot of these school shootings happen in the first place. That and I also eliminated the psychotropic drugs that have every school shooter has been known to be on. So I've eliminated just about all these things. So I don't allow child psychiatrists to come and force dangerous narcotics on children. I don't allow other children to assault other children in my school without provocation. You know what I mean? Now I will. Yeah, tasers are good. Hello, Queen. Not allowed, Bullfrog. Not allowed. Like I said, that stuff was tolerated in public schools, but not in mine. But that was a thought experiment. Let's get on to other things. All right, we're dubbed. This is just a warm up stream. I just thought it would be pretty cool. I had this thing on my mind. Like I said, yeah, they would, myself. They would. But like I said, there wouldn't be much trouble. Like I said, I am very much against bullying in public schools. But the problem is I'm very well aware is that the school system doesn't care. And they're not going to take any action against bullies in public schools because they don't give a shit. You know? And like I said, if I was doing things differently, I would make sure action would be taken immediately. I would make sure there was a security team patrolling those halls to make sure assaults wouldn't happen. And if you did them, there would be punishment. And I'm not talking about suspension or in school. I'm talking about a paddling. And it would be the kid that you assaulted who would be doing the paddling. And I've eliminated psychotropic drugs being used on children. In my school, they wouldn't be allowed. As a matter of fact, school psychologists and psychiatrists would not be allowed in there. Yeah, I don't like that myself. Ugh, noodles. I really don't. I don't really want to. It's not a date because I'm not really anything to do with them. I'm going after other girls, Immortal. As Michelle, I think that it would be best to leave her behind. I'm not wrong when I say it's nothing personal. I have nothing personal against Michelle. I want to say that. It's just that you want to pick up chicks. You don't want to bring anyone that's going to scare the chicks away. And it's not just how it is. Friend of Noodles. I'll tell you later. It's complicated. The boy ladies are not that good looking, Bullfrog. A lot of them are, older. I mean, how many young women are in the boy? Let's be honest here. I mean, like Seasons. I think her name is Bianca. She's turning 50. All right. All right. If you just come in, give me a like. So, she's also past her prime, to be honest with you. Hamburglar. Way past her prime. Probably won't do that, Bullfrog, but um, I'll do something that I'll basically pick up the chicks, Well, he's my friend. He has his problems. He has his flaws. You may not like him. There are some things that he does that I don't like, and a lot of some things I do that he does like. But He's okay. He's there for you, though. He's loyal to you. He's there for you. What can you ask for more from a friend? No, man. You can't ask for more than that from a friend. No, man. He's not perfect, but neither am I. Nobody's perfect. Nobody in this world. The only one that was ever truly perfect is Jesus. Well, if I can get away with it, Bullfrog, if I can get away with it. But I doubt I could. Pick up the chicks, but not try to pull the skirt. All right. Well, this has been good practice stream. It's been good mental exercise because this is not okay. There's no way in a million years that I'd ever have my own school. Okay, no way. That's never going to happen. Not in a million years. I don't like public schools. I've been through the public school system, and it was hell. In so many ways. I mean, not just because of bullying or anything else like it's because of everything they did. The drugging, the basically how the system works. It's a very demoralizing system. I mean, it's very feminist too. It's very feminist. A lot of feminists and women control that system, the public school system. It's pretty bad, and it's not getting better. And I'm glad a lot of parents have pulled their kids out of that place. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Bullfrog. Very much thinking. Exactly. You already know. That's where we disagree, Outlaw Immortal. Jesus was truly perfect and is. Anyway. Anyway, this has been a good practice stream. I just thought I'd try something different just for change. See what works, see what doesn't. I just tried to think about this thought experiment. And it was only a hypothetical, folks. I'm not starting my own private school. It's not going to happen. It will never happen in a million years. So don't. I mean, it was just a what if scenario. So don't try to use my words against me in any way. Don't try to basically. And that being said, God bless everybody. Good night.